In some relief to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz, a vocal critic of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has postponed his resignation plans. Now, the leader of the centrist National Unity Party cancelled the earlier plan to resign from the cabinet after the rescue of 4 Israeli hostages in Gaza on Saturday. Gantz had set a June 8th ultimatum 3 weeks ago. He was slated to conduct a press conference on the day of the party's deadline to leave Netanyahu's government. The Israel Defense Forces, Shin Bet Security Agency and Israel Police carried out a complex, high-risk yet successful operation and rescued 4 hostages alive from Hamas's captivity. Hamas has repeatedly moved the hostages around in Gaza to prevent Israeli rescue operations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked the War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz not to resign after he threatened to quit over the lack of post-war strategy for the Gaza Strip. With Gantz gone, Netanyahu would have lost the backing of a centrist bloc that has helped broaden support for the government in Israel and abroad. He would have to rely more heavily on the political backing of ultra-nationalist parties. While Gantz rejoiced in the fact that the IDF rescued the hostages, he stressed that the challenges still remain as they were.
צריך לזכור כי כל האתגרים איתם מתמודדת ישראל, באשר להשבת יתר 120 החטופים והחטופות, ובאשר ליתר האתגרים הביטחוניים בכלל זירות המלחמה מול האזור, מול העולם, כמו גם מבית פנימה.
The Israeli Defense Forces, Shin Bet Security Agency and Israeli Police carried out one of the most complex operations amid the war against Hamas militants in Gaza. Now, the mission to rescue hostages was called Operation Arnon and was conducted in broad daylight in an area where Israeli hostages had not previously operated. Now, let's take a look at this package.
Well, the IDF conducted 2 simultaneous raids in Nuseirat refugee camps at 11 a.m. local time in a complex daytime operation. Well, according to IDF spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, the rescue operation took place in the heart of a civilian neighborhood. That is where it took place at the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza. Now, during the planning period, intelligence on the hostages' locations was obtained and studied, and this crucial intelligence was provided by the United States of America. IDF's 98th Division, commanded by Brigadier General Dan Goldfuss, they orchestrated the operation to rescue hostages from the Nuseirat refugee camp. And the aim was to distract Hamas militants from realizing IDF's simultaneous raids, and that is why the IDF conducted raids in 2 separate buildings in the Nuseirat refugee camp. Well, the 2 buildings they're talking about here, they were just 200 meters apart, and the decision to raid the buildings simultaneously was because of the high probability of Hamas militants murdering the hostages. The Israeli Air Force carried out major airstrikes in Nuseirat refugee camp, after which, a short while later, all the 4 hostages were rescued from 2 different buildings. Well, during the rescue operations of Israeli hostages, around 90 Palestinians were killed in intense firing by Israeli Defense Forces. While the forces acknowledged the deaths, they blamed that on Hamas militants for holding hostages and fighting in a dense civilian environment.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.